Larry and Kay Woodcock. I wanted to talk with you guys. Kay, I saw what you wrote on Facebook the other day, how it was a year ago that you said JJ was with you, Larry, I believe in Louisiana, right?
That is correct.
And Kay, you were with Charles in Arizona. And what happened?
Well, we were packing up his house to get him, to move back to Houston. And that was the day that Lori came waltzing in the house. Like, it was amazing. She just walked in and just started fussing at him. And I mean, for her to then it just really, I was like, what the heck is wrong with her? And then he was sitting down, and as she's talking to him, her back was to me. She had her hands on her hips. What are you doing? Why are you moving? What? I can't believe this. Why are you keeping JJ from me? And it was just on and on. And he said, look, I'm moving. JJ and I are moving because your family has totally gone away, just like you did. They won't talk to us. They won't nothing. And so I'm moving to be close to my family. And she said, what family? And he said, my family in Louisiana. And she goes, what family? And I was like, what the heck? What does she think we are? Like, he has no family? It was amazing how she just, like we didn't even exist. It was crazy. And so, I mean, she knew I was there after she turned around and stuff, but they talked for a while. And it was mostly her fussing loudly, but it just, after a little time, they went in the bedroom and talked, but I could still hear them outside, and because I was trying to give them a little privacy. But anyway, she ended, by the time she left, I was sitting at the kitchen table on the computer, and she walked over to me and she said, well, KK, because that's what she calls me, KK. And she said, well, KK, I said, Lori, I'm sorry that this has happened with y'all. And we can talk. And she said, I just miss you. And she started tears flowing. And I thought, okay, well, she never even cried when Charles was talking to her. But yet she's telling me, well, I miss you, KK. And she's crying. So I just thought that was weird because, I don't know, the whole thing was weird that day. But
and Larry,
huh?
Oh, and Larry, you're there with JJ, not knowing that within a few months things are going to drastically change, that would be one of your last times with him.
Yeah. Well, it actually was my last extended stay with him. And, I think back on it often. And, I miss him terribly, and he is special to me. And I am so thankful that I had that week or so to be with him, just he and I, so that we could basically do what he wanted to do and whatever time he wanted to do it. And I thank God for that.
JJ had run of the house and run of pawpaw for a solid week.
Yeah, a lot of that
time. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
Yeah. So, Charles and Lori worked things out, or at least, it appeared that they did after that argument, Kay?
No.
When
she came back, when she finally came to Houston, she was still blaming him for everything. They were not getting back together, but yet she was like, I'm not getting a divorce, because she had already had so many divorces. But she was like, we're not getting back together, but we're not getting divorced. So, he was kind of in limbo, he was in limbo. And he just eventually, she broke him down, I guess is the best way to put it. And I mean, he happened to be due a huge insurance commission check. And And sure enough, within less than a week, when she got in Houston, he got that commission check. And I had access to one account, and that's the money that the commission check went into, the monies. And that money flew out of that account so quickly. And Charles was asking me for passwords for everything because I had changed all of that since he gave me management of the company money. And so I had changed everything where she couldn't access it. But then he ended up giving her all the passwords back, and he gave her the keys to the kingdom once again. And that money was gone in no time flat.
How much did it cost?
I haven't even told, I don't know if I've even told the police that, but after his death, I think there was $9,000 in the checking account, in his business account, and $6,000 was moved out a day or two after. And then so that left $3,000 and change in there. And then a couple days after that, $3,000 went out of it, was withdrawn. And then Lori texted me or emailed me something and said, "Hey, KK, did you take the $3,000 out?" And I said, "No, I did not." And that was it. Like, she was, I know she got the money, but she was asking me if I got it, like somebody else took it, and it was just her taking the money and trying not to look bad, I guess. I don't know.
How do you spend all that money? That's a lot of money to withdraw all at once.
Yeah, that was nothing, that $9,000. That $6,000 to $3,000, that was nothing. She moved it to another account. They had other accounts I had no access to. So it's easy to go through money like that when you're paying everybody's way through life and not just paying their bills. They were paying everybody else's bills. Mm-hmm.
So Kay, you mentioned the accounts. We talked about last week the story about the Amazon account and her ring.
Yeah.
And you were able to actually help the police with this aspect of the case. Were you startled at all when you logged onto that account and saw the ring, or did you realize it after the fact? How did that play out?
That was, wow. That was a day that I'll never forget because I stayed right here on my computer for 12 hours. I stopped to eat one time and that whole day. And I was on the phone with our private investigator, Rich, with our Chandler detective, with Brandon's Gilbert detective, with, I don't think I was talking to the FBI then. So that was on November the 8th when I discovered this stuff. So absolutely, I went through every email and every account that I could get into because I knew his, his favorite passwords. And so it was usually one of three passwords. And so, I was able to manipulate things that way and I got into accounts that, I had access to before, but then after Lori took things over, she changed everything again to where I didn't have access to them. So on
November the 8th, did you know that she and Chad had been married? Because that was within a few days there.
No, I did not know that at that time.
But you saw the searches for the wedding apparel, things like that.
Yes. That was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. So, once I let law enforcement know, they were able to get it their own way. I mean, I guess they couldn't get it from me and it be legitimate, or I don't know how that works, but they were able to get it however they get it.
Was she tech savvy? Like, would she be tech savvy enough to delete text messages or clear histories on computers, things like that?
She could delete text messages. Things are easy like that. But to think that she never even thought that those emails are going to the Google account, that Charles's Gmail account, that was pretty short-sighted on her part. But yeah, that's par for the course because that's just how she was. She didn't get that kind of stuff.
Some of the other things that have come out since we last spoke, the papers that Brandon Boudreaux down in Arizona filed, including an 8-page document that Ian Pawlowski, the new husband of Brandon's ex, wrote, apparently after he met with the police, describing the religious beliefs that Lori apparently has and, frankly, bizarre teachings about this type of stuff. And they talk about zombies and dark spirits, and it seems to insinuate that JJ and Tylee became zombies or became dark spirits. When you all found that out, I can imagine that's not the most encouraging news to hear.
Well, I had known a few things before that about the light and dark spirits, and Brandon had talked to me at length about all of that stuff, although I couldn't explain it back to you right now if I tried, but because I don't understand the basic fundamental LDS, but although I do know that is not LDS doctrine. So anyway, yeah, he explained it to me, and it did scare me terribly because, how can JJ, a little 7-year-old, go from light to dark? Go from a good person and a good. It just makes no sense in my mind. With that, and then when I saw that Ring doorbell video that Garna had done a story about, that scared me to death. That just. And finding out that she was telling neighbors that he was her niece's drug baby, not her son, that just, oh my God, that just shows me how she was distancing herself from him, like to maybe make it easier for her to do something to him. I don't know. I don't know, but that just scared us to
That's actually been the lowest point.
It has in all of this.
In all of this, even lower and more hurtful than the death of Charles. How low can you get? I just don't understand it. And I know that at one time, she loved JJ. That was always obvious. But for her to say that is not the person that has a loving capability of a mother. And I truly, I don't understand it. And it is absolutely the lowest point of this entire investigation.